Los Cabos Drumsticks present
Quarter notes.
Again, I fail with the recording.
No, it's good. We're live.
We're live.
Welcome to Los Cabos presents Quarter Notes
We are Quarter Notes.
with
yeah.
Dre
With Dre and Rich.
and Rich.
We're going
And
to get right to it. We're going to quit the banter. We have a guest with us, and you're going to see her momentarily. But first, I have to tell you that I'm very excited that she's on the podcast. It's been a while since I've had a chance to chat with her. Our bands have shared many stages together, and we'll have many more, I'm sure, hopefully coming up this summer. She's the drummer for the Moncton-based amazing, my favorite band, Which is Which. Her name is Nadine Paulin. And there she is on the screen. Hello. And we lost your
Hello.
audio. Oh no. We
Oh,
can't
what
hear
the
you.
heck?
What the heck?
I was nodding along the whole time
Yeah.
that you were like, we share the stage. I know her, a friend of mine. I was just like, yes. But Nadine and I are meeting for the first time right now.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get her.
Oh, I think, are we back? No, we're not back.
No, she's not back.
Psych.
I'm gonna have to do this over again. She's freaking out. It's okay. She's like, pause.
One moment. This is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
I've had something I want to say.
Okay.
Do you I wish Nadine would hear this too, because before we came on air, we were talking about a drum throne that does not adjust.
Mm-hmm.
It's a drummer problem. Have you watched? I've been posting them. The cowboy drummer videos. Any of the cowboy drummer videos. It's this guy. I don't even know.
I've seen his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his band, but he's hilarious. And yeah, today's video was of a guitar player asking the drummer to move his drum set, like just a little bit. Like, started to be a bother. Do you mind like moving your drum set? This guy, Ben, this guy speaks to me.
Yeah.
Speaks to my heart. Speaks to my heart. Yeah,
It was good.
yeah.
I saw that. It was good.
Anyway, you know, I'm gonna give a shout out to this guy because the cowboy drummer. That's it.
Yeah, that's his
That's
handle.
it.
The cowboy drummer. All
Nadine.
right. Nadine is back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, oh
I
yeah.
can hear you now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. We're just going to keep all this in because this is great.
It's just like a live show. It's just like a show.
It's a live show. We're live. No,
All
it's-
right.
Yeah. So welcome to the podcast, Nadine. We were just talking about
Thank you
while
for
you were
having me.
yeah, well, of course. We were just talking about the drum throne thing with the immovable drum thrones.
Yes.
So it's just, yeah, it's a common problem. It happens all the time. And Rich was just sharing with the cowboy drummer.
Yeah, do you know
on Instagram.
the cowboy drummer on Instagram? If you don't follow this
No.
guy, highly recommend it. He's it's just like he's a real drummer, but like he seems to spend most of his time making really funny videos.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Okay.
today, yeah, I've already said it. I'll just like say, go to the cowboy drummer, and that's for all of our faithful listeners on here. If you don't, I know like most, probably a good chunk of our listeners, and I know that most of them do follow this guy anyway.
Mhm, for
But
sure, for
anyway,
sure.
whatever. We're not talking about the cowboy drummer. We're talking about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll check out the cowboy
Yeah.
drummer. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So whatever you do, don't put off checking him out. Like don't procrastinate on any of that. You want to get
Oh, I'll
to it
probably
right
do
away.
that tonight.
Yeah. We're gonna, as always, we have a topic. We'll get to it eventually. It's about procrastination.
Yeah. Sometimes.
So we'll
it's a
chat about
tomorrow
that.
problem, right?
Yeah, it's a tomorrow problem.
Manana.
So, and then of course we're going to talk about some drummers that we've each picked, and funny enough, none of us have picked the same drummer, which is great.
Cool.
So we're going to talk about some
That's
hardcore
awesome.
drummers.
It's cool that we've picked hardcore drummers. Hardcore. I mean, it can be, lots of, but
That's kind of broad.
it's kind of broad, but the hardcore that I'm mostly into is very like positive and like it's kind of like motivational speaking in hardcore style. So it's
Nice.
interesting just juxtaposition with our theme of procrastination. Don't we all suffer with that? But so
Yeah.
maybe that'd be like tip number one. If you're procrastinating, put on some hardcore punk and problem solved.
100%.
Pump yourself up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
It gets you motivated. Gets
Yeah.
me motivated.
Mhm.
That's usually what I put on
Mhm.
in the gym
Yeah.
Yes.
when I
ditto.
don't put off working out.
Ditto.
Well, that's a great thing. You took I got some notes. You got some notes, Dre. Why don't you take the lead here?
I put off putting notes together, but I got some notes, I guess. This joke is just going to run its course.
Keep her going.
Keep it going.
Yeah. We could do this all night.
Yeah. Before we get into the topic though, just to get into a little bit about you, Nadine. So you came into drumming late, because you started a
Mhm.
family first and you had like your kids,
I was
with
procrastinating.
just putting it off. So you had a career and you have a career outside of drumming, with which
Yeah.
is which people please check them out. So what is your day job? Because I think it's very fascinating. I just want you to kind of talk about it real quick.
I'm an assistant pathologist. So a lot of people don't know what that means exactly, but I dissect all the organs and stuff that come out of surgeries to assess, usually it's tumors and cancer, and be able to prepare the specimens that the pathologists are going to need to see to be able to pose a diagnostic and a diagnosis. And I also perform autopsies.
So your bones.
That's my
What's the title?
Assistant pathologist.
Oh, there was a little like a delay in the audio, and I thought you said speech pathologist. And then when you were telling me what you were doing, I was like, wow.
Seemed a bit excessive for a speech pathologist.
Yeah, wow, they're really multi-talented. I didn't know. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a really interesting job and really wow, a lot of different, like every day's got to be different than the last kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, which is what's interesting about it to me. I'm a very scatterbrained person and I get bored easily, and I like that it's always different no matter if it's the same organ. The pathology in it is going to be different, so you're going to treat it differently and you have to kind of change up every time. So I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Adaptable.
Yeah.
Drummer.
So again, like you started late with your fans. So how do you find the time? Again, this kind of comes in with the whole procrastination thing. Like when or how do you make time to practice or do anything like drum related?
It's easier now that my kids are older. I mean, when I started actually because I was a new mom and I didn't have any time for myself, and drumming was always something that interested me. So it was something that I wanted to do for myself to give me time. But practicing at home with babies and toddlers was not easy, not really possible.
Yeah.
But now that my kids are teenagers, like, it's a whole lot easier, although I do procrastinate and not always find the time for practice that I should.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's how we can always cut this out if you don't want to talk about it. But how many kids do you have?
Oh, 2. Yeah, I have a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And it's okay if you want to include that. I'm fine with it.
Okay. Great. No,
yeah. That sounds
Mhm.
fantastic.
Mhm.
Some people will get that reference.
My husband will. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Can we
there's
mention that? Everyone here is like,
my
what the
husband
heck?
owns. Yeah, my husband owns a store that's called Sounds Fantastic.
Mhm.
He's an
He-
audio video salesman.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
He runs it? He owns
Yeah.
it? Is
He owns it. Yeah.
how does the jingle go? I was wondering this earlier. Is it sounds fantastic? Is it something like that?
Oh, the jingle. I honestly I couldn't tell you. They don't have like this is the jingle kind of thing. Like I
Maybe
don't.
that's
But they used to though, right? Because I remember growing up hearing it on the
And
radio.
they did. They did at
Yeah.
one time when like
Okay.
radio ads and stuff were
When
like
yeah,
huge.
when that was a thing.
They did.
Maybe it's like the
Yeah.
what do you call it? The Mandela effect? Mandela effect?
Yeah, it was totally
never-
Sinbad was in that movie.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
There's the Bernstein Bears or the
Berenstein.
Oh,
Berenstein Bears. Yeah.
it's the Berenstein Bears.
Yeah.
Is how I remember it.
Okay, let's get right into this.
Yes.
Let's not put it off any longer. Let's get to our first drummer picks.
Okay.
Let's not procrastinate.
Who wants to okay, so I guess I will go first for this round.
Okay.
So I grew up as a skate punk. So I was skateboarding all the time. So I'd watch skate videos and I'd hear music in the skate videos all the time. And without even knowing who this guy was or the band, just the music. And it wasn't until because like I was just whatever skateboarding, didn't care. So it wasn't until Tony Hawk Pro Skater came out that it was one of the songs featured on it that I realized it was the Dead Kennedys. And that was a police truck. So DH Peligro, I hope I say it okay. Rest in peace. Because he recently passed away. But just the Dead Kennedys and that kind of style of punk was just so catchy and melodic, and his drumming was really kind of that driving force. It was always kind of pushing him in the bass, like that rhythm section was so tight. So DH Peligro is my first pick for a hardcore drummer.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nadine, hit us.
Well, don't
What's
hit us,
that?
but don't hit us, but just give us your
Hit
pick.
us with your pick.
Yeah.
With the drummer pick?
With the drummer pick.
Bill Stevenson of Descendants. Yeah. Just oh my god, the timing and the power that he gets in such little movement. I mean, like he looks like he's doing almost nothing, but then you listen to it and it's like it's so powerful and always absolutely on time and so fast. Like it's just so impressive to hear that. Yeah, every time I hear him, I automatically focus on the drums and listen to the drums.
Yeah.
In Descendants for sure.
100%.
Nice.
And just to add to that real quick, because I always have to have something to say, is
yes,
if people haven't watched the documentary on the Descendants, they should go and check it out. It was so good, and especially his story because of what he had to go through, and he nearly died. Like, and then to be able to come back and keep playing the way that he does. So yeah, that's all I'm going to add to that. I'm not going to, steal the floor, Rich.
100%.
Right on. I'm going to start with Matt Byrne, who is the drummer in Hatebreed, who we're talking about like workout music. Hatebreed is definitely one of my go-to bands for working out. And similar story, Dre, talking about Tony Hawk and being on a video game. I'm going to reveal a little bit myself here, and I don't know how flattering it is. I'm going to seem like a bit of a nerd, but there's that computer game, war game, Command and Conquer. I played it as a young kid, and I kind of like found it again and revisited it. This is even a few years back, but before, when I was a kid, I didn't know there was the song Destroy Everything was on. It was like, but it was like kind of computerized, like, and without vocals or anything. But that was like one of the songs that would play as you were building your army to go destroy everything. And that's a Hatebreed song. So I later like put that together, like way later. It was like, whoa, who knew? I was
that's
all this
cool.
time I was listening to Hatebreed. But yeah, I listened. I had this this one like time in my life when I was super dedicated to this workout program, and I listened to Hatebreed every single night. That was during the pandemic. Like I listened to them every night and like work out in our little apartment. So yeah, Hatebreed. I mean, I love that band. And it just goes to show like how like, yes, we were talking about how like broad, like you think like you say, okay, pick 3 punk drummers. Sure, that's such a broad thing, but who knew that like saying even we're gonna pick 3 hardcore punk drummers is still like
So
such
diverse.
such a broad category.
Yep.
I don't know. Kind of makes me I think of that too with metal categories too. Like I don't know. Sometimes it's like, and as I was researching this, like some bands are like, I don't know, like even from album to album, it could be like, well, this is kind of actually more metalcore, or this is like actually metal, or this is like influenced by this. Like
This
it's
is
kind
more
of metal,
thrash metal.
Yeah, or like it's and those lines are kind of blurred. It's like, who is it? Is it like, are you just? I mean, it's just I think having labels are helpful for like, if you like this, you might like this, but like it also goes to show that like sometimes the labels just don't cut it.
They don't get it.
They don't.
Anytime you try and label or put a genre or put something in a specific category, they get it wrong. Like my wife reads a lot of books, and the types of books that she's reading, they're completely miscategorized. Like this should not be in the paranormal. This should be in science fiction, or it's all just terribly, and for some reason, because it's a female author, we don't have to get into the weeds on this, but because it's a female author, they'll often put them in the romance section when it's like straight up sci-fi, and there's like no romance involved in the whole story. So, but it's a female author, so shove it into romance. Like it's, and I find sometimes that could be the case with music, like you said, like just because, long hair and wearing black, they're going to put that in metal, and it's, country western band. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I find with a lot of artistic endeavors is they can't be put into one box necessarily. And especially if it's something that's ongoing, the artist is going to grow and add more things and change and not always be in that one box,
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Look what happened with Silverchair, Daniel Johns. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That whole storyline is,
Man,
that's a whole podcast.
I just looked that up. I just looked that up last night. What are the chances?
What?
I thought, what happened to Silverchair?
Were you guys chatting about that?
Not even.
No, this is totally off the cuff.
What?
No way. Yeah, but yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Like Silverchair, he, they did their thing when they were kids, and then he wanted to venture off, and like you see the progression from their albums, especially Young Modern, that's a pop album, where they started off as like that 3-piece grunge thing, and then they've got horns and keyboards, and and then he's they disbanded because he doesn't want to be in that that Silverchair mold. So all right, so that was pick 1.
But that's definitely one of the things I love about music in general is people will grow and add to it and change, and that's a good thing. Like there's no reason to be stagnant.
Yeah, and as artists, you don't want to keep repeating yourself, because when you're going to perform, like we've been playing the same, well, we had been playing the same set for a while, like in support of our first album. Then when you're excited about the next, you're excited about the next album cycle because you're going to add more songs to that set, and you're like, oh, finally I get to stop playing these songs because I'm so bored, you know, not
Hmm.
well, not to
Yeah.
say that you're bored performing, but like
Yeah.
it's different. It keeps it fresh, and that's, you know, moving forward and progressing as a person and as an artist.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will say my favorite by far like thing to do with music is to write and then record it, but like mostly like the writing. But everything we're saying, not to just like be the total contrarian or devil's advocate, but every time you guys say you don't want to just stay stagnant, stay the same, I can't help but think of my own band and how we just keep putting out the same kind of record over and over again. But that's on purpose. That's by design. I've
But
only
you
been
don't
like,
though. But you
yeah,
don't though.
maybe
But
not.
you say
Maybe not.
that, but it's in the same style. But I
Yeah.
mean, you still are progressing. Like I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
like
for sure.
it still is
I
changing in a
didn't. Yeah,
way. It's
we
just
would. You're right. But we wouldn't. We wouldn't look at that as a bad thing. It's just like you're
Yeah.
not going to get any surprises.
no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look
There'll
at
be no
AC/DC, right?
There'll be no Silverchair direction in this band. Yeah, it'll be the AC/DC
Right.
direction.
You know, you
Yeah.
find the formula,
Straight
you
ahead-
stick
straight
with
ahead.
it, but you know, you keep, yeah,
Yes.
straight ahead rock is still, it's needed, you know,
Yeah,
and it's
Oh
reliable.
yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like a good hamburger.
I was, I was just gonna say it's like a good hamburger.
Yeah.
That's a callback to a long ago conversation.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
on a different show altogether. Okay,
I watched that.
so you watched
Oh,
that
yeah,
show?
And you
still-
guys,
Yeah.
and you were also on that show. The show we are referencing is The Conundrum,
Yes.
Dre's other
My-
podcast.
my side hustle.
We don't
Yeah.
talk about that.
We don't talk about that one.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So well, just in reference to that, if you know, as far as putting off, you know, how you came into drumming later in life, not that you were putting it off, it's just you came
Mhm.
into it later, that the
Mhm.
witches, which, you know, buy their merch,
Mhm. Yeah.
was your first band. Well,
Yeah.
first like full, like real band, because you did play in a cover
Or-
band, like
yeah,
doing
yeah.
like Ramon stuff, which as a
Remote, yeah.
first thing to do, playing the Ramones, especially like Marky Ramones like style, not easy to do. Constantly doing 16th notes and all that, like that's pretty challenging stuff. So you didn't exactly, you know, take the easy road.
No. Oh shit, my computer is screwing up. Hang on.
There we go. We can see you.
I'm sorry.
We still see you.
We still see you.
You see me? I can't see you at all.
Oh no.
Okay, there you are.
There you
Okay.
are. Hey.
Yeah, Ramones. It is challenging as far as like physically, I suppose. But that's what came easiest to me. When I started learning, my older brother played drums for a long time, and he always had his kit at home. So when I was living at home, I would go and play on his kit when he wasn't home because he didn't like me touching it. But the whole 4/4 thing just kind of came very naturally to me. I didn't need anybody to show it to me. I just sort of knew. And when I started practicing more and more, the 16th and stuff just sort of came to me, and I could do that all night. But I'm not a big fancy drummer. I'm not gonna have huge fills. I'm not gonna have, but I could keep time and keep doing the Marky Ramone thing all night. So that's sort of my one trick pony kind of thing. But yeah, that's just that just kind of came naturally to me.
Sweet.
And that was the first thing that we did was the Ramone set. Yeah.
The tribute set, and then
Yes.
that's you from there leapfrogged into with mutual friends into playing with which is which.
Yeah, that was my introduction. Like I started playing later. I was like 27, 28, something like that. And I was nervous about trying to get people to play with me because most of my friends had been playing since we were teenagers, just like most people that we know playing guitar and stuff.
Mhm.
And I just sort of assumed they wouldn't want to play with me because I wasn't experienced enough. And my brother was just like, people just need to see you play. So he was like, let's do this
Yeah.
Ramones thing. People will see you play. And I actually got like 2 offers to be in bands like from that.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing something right because The Witches, based on that first album, won
Yeah.
the Music New Brunswick Award for Breakthrough Artist
Yeah. We went.
and Fans Choice, right?
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
it's a great album. And I know you did a split as well since then.
Mhm.
Is there any work on
the
a second
Banter.
album?
We're working on getting up songs to do a second album, and we're kind of almost there. We're slow going at writing. I mean, we're for adults with daytime jobs and other things going on, so it is slower writing and stuff. But yeah, we're almost there for the second album, and we're hoping to put it out soon. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
Any shows accompanying that eventual release or shows coming up before then?
Right now, actually, the only show that we have coming up is like Canada Day, and it's not officially announced, and it's with a bigger band than us, so I won't say it on this. But yeah, so that's the next show we have coming up. But we did decide in just recent times that we were kind of taking a little break from playing so many shows because we were playing a lot of shows, and it was sort of hindering us writing new songs because we were always practicing for the upcoming shows and we weren't focusing on writing the new stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we've been taking a break from playing so many shows and focusing more on writing and stuff.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
Well, please come to PEI when you eventually do shows.
Yes, we've only been once with actually we did a little leg of the tour with Cancer Bats when they toured as Black Sabbath or sorry
Bat Sabbath.
Yeah, Bat Sabbath.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and we played in PEI that one time. We weren't sure if PEI was as responsive to punk bands as we were hoping, but we're hoping to get back there sometime soon.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious how that went. The Cancer Bats are coming back to Charlottetown, actually.
Are they?
I forget when, June or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
Because they just did a run of shows because I know they were playing with Botfly, which has another Los Cabos drummer and that band. Yeah, they won the ECMA last year instead of us for the rock album. Of course they did. Exactly. That's what we said too, right?
Although, if there would have been 2 winners, it would have been you guys.
Sure. That's funny.
You know you're our favorite band in
yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway.
So we're just gonna keep moving this along. Do we want to hit second drummer already?
Let's do it. Sorry, guys, I'm just following Botfly.
Okay, you should be.
You should be. They're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that was their debut. I think it was their it was our debut album, and I think it was their debut album as well. That were up for the hard rock of the year. Yeah. They put on a killer show.
I was gonna give him some stink, tell him Six Gun Smoke. It's the only way to go. Who are you guys? I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, they're a good bunch of guys, and they're super good. They put on a really good show.
They're very different sounds, though. You can't be.
Yes, very different sounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went first last time, so somebody else take the reins.
I'll take those reins.
Okay.
Okay.
Second pick. I know the guy personally, so that is a factor, but he's also awesome, although he is like kind of retired as a drummer, as far as I know. But he was in the band Throwdown, which is a straight edge band, straight edge hardcore band. He also drummed with Madball, New York hardcore band, and another big band that I'm just forgetting right now. But anyway, some pretty rad bands that he's played with, and he is also a personal trainer, owned a gym. Was kind of part like when I was starting to have my whole like fit drummer idea, I was hoping that I could do something with him. Just never panned out. Anyway, without any further ado, his name is Ben Dussault. He's a guy from Montreal, but I met him in Toronto. He still lives in Toronto. Still a rad dude, still doing fitness stuff, wellness stuff. And he actually got me, introduced me to some people for drumstick people, but another place.
Oh, okay. This was like a long time ago. Yeah.
I started saying that and I was like, what?
Reel it back.
Yeah. But that was and at in fact at Yamaha drums as well, which I still proudly play. So he was like a real help to me as well, but just a really super rad drummer, a lot of power, like crazy power. He actually plays Paiste cymbals too. There's like a Paiste cymbal, if anyone listening wants to see a ripped dude play some drums, go to Ben Dussault Paiste, and there's like my buddy Sean. I didn't know this, like I knew Sean the director before, but anyway, it's like this like slow-mo, like it's not like that Carmina Burana is not playing, but it should be. It's like da, 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 bum, bum, da. Like it's just like so dramatic. But anyway, like you could just see the cymbal like going like whoa, because it's all super slow.
Oh yeah.
But like he's like walking to the drums slow-mo, and at that like I think he's still pretty ripped, but at that time he was really ripped. But that was like he would go around and like, you know, he'd be like on the Warped Tour or whatever with like the weights and the pull-up bar and like actually like training other people, and that's how he became a personal trainer. Anyway, Ben Dussault, check him out. Check out Throwdown, pretty rad. Vengeance, I think, is the name of the record that comes to mind for them that I really like. Yes,
awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. You sold me.
Yeah.
Right.
Was it the drum? Was it the slow-mo drum thing, or was it the ripped? Because I'm more curious
Slow-mo
about
for me.
the
Slow-mo.
both. Yeah. Nice. All right, you're up.
Let's go with Robo.
Nice.
Yes. Resonates with me because of the robotic movements. I have really bad technique. And it's probably because I started playing too late. I don't know. And I let myself get into a bad technique, but I play with my entire arm. So, yeah, I like watching somebody do that kind of thing and do it so fucking well. Sorry.
Yep. Nope, we're good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So most people would
Just-
know him from being the drummer from the Misfits
And Black Flag.
and Black Flag. Yeah. So both like, again, hardcore bands, totally different sounds,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
totally different styles.
Totally.
Yeah.
Adaptability.
Adaptability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did I not go yet?
Didn't go.
I didn't go. Oh my God.
No,
Well,
you didn't
speaking
go.
of the
Your
Misfits, speaking of the
Yes.
Misfits.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Yes, absolutely. Most people would know him as being a founding member from what I consider the thrash metal band from the 80s. He also played with Suicidal Tendencies. He's been in and out only because of the activity of the band, Mr. Bungle. He has his own side hardcore band called Dead Cross. Currently the drummer for the Misfits. That thrash metal band that I was talking about, it's just a little band known by Slayer. It's Mr. Dave Lombardo.
Yes.
Insane power, super technical, ultra groovy. He's got to be on like somebody's Mount Rushmore for greatest of all time. I mean, I actually went to see Slayer when they were in St. John, New Brunswick back in mid 2000s. It was them and Damage Plan. So I got to see Lombardo and Vinnie Paul on the same night. It was kind of a mind-blowing experience at Harbor Station that night. Yeah.
I was reading about like I think it was one of the guys in Slayer saying this about him, like you ever see that movie The Natural? Like that's Dave. He just shows up like 10 minutes before the show and doesn't warm up and then just goes and does what he does.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, okay.
And to do
Yeah.
what he does is just insane.
Yeah.
Monsieur
Yeah, I met him-
Lombardo.
It's just so
I'm-
much.
I met him one time.
It's
No way.
oh my god.
I met him one time and he was backstage,
Sorry.
like, and he just goes, it's on my drums set, like small little kid.
Yeah,
He just
little
goes,
3-piece.
I like your drums. we didn't say much else. Exchanged a few more words, but I was like,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm not
Yeah, but-
worthy.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to JC like, holy shit.
But speaking of Paistes, I mean, he's also been a Paiste
Yeah.
drummer. And like a full set of Rudes too. Like those things are.
I think
like,
he was with he had way more drums than I did that day. And
Yeah.
I think it was with Suicidal Tendencies. I think he was playing.
Mhm. Yeah, well, yeah. Even then, with the Suicidal, I think he was just doing. Was he doing double kicks? I think he was using double kick pedal, but just one bass drum on the stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because he's got very distinct setups for each project that he's in.
Yeah.
Like with the Misfits, it's like single kick, massive rack tom. Like you can't even see him back there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like
Yeah,
an
yeah.
18-inch rack tom and a 20-inch floor or something stupid.
Simple
Like,
but
awesome.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
So that's drum pick number 2.
Number
We're just
2.
flying. We're flying. All
So
right. I was just about to say my third pick. And I was like, no, wait, we got other shit to talk about. Take it
listen,
away, Rich.
guys, we've been putting this off. We've really been putting this off. We've been avoiding it.
Yeah.
We've been
Is it time?
distracting ourselves.
Yeah.
What we're talking about here today is procrastination. Talking about procrastination.
Yep.
As drummers, as human beings, it's one of those things. It's just we are built to take the easiest possible path.
Mhm.
Just to it's just hardwired into us. So it's a very easy thing to do, nothing to be ashamed of, but something to work to overcome. That's for sure. So we're talking about
100%.
procrastination. For one, like getting your practice in. If you want to, it's important to practice so that you get better at your instrument and can more fully express yourself. But or working out or whatever it is. So I have some notes on it, but I would just first just say, do you guys got anything to say about procrastination before I give some thoughts on how to maybe beat it?
I do, but I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Of course. I'm a terrible procrastinator. Which in my personal life, in work life, I have to be super organized and have everything on the ball. So I feel like when I come to my home life, I kind of take that excuse to let it all go, but I shouldn't. And yeah, I'm a terrible procrastinator. I mean, Dre asked me on Monday, do you want to be on the podcast on Tuesday or Wednesday? Like 3 guesses why I said Wednesday. Like it's just like, let's put it off until we, can't anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, same thing. Like, yeah, my work as well. Like my day job, I gotta be on the ball because I'm dealing with, sensitive information and stuff. So I can't put it off, and people require information, right away. But I've always been, even before my current career, I've always been a procrastinator. Like from when I was a kid, teenager, growing up, like, being asked to mow the lawn, or I never cleaned my room, that kind of stuff. So even now, like in my adult life, I'm always looking for the more adult person in the room because I'm not the adult. Because if I was the adult, that means I have to go and take care of things or do things, right? So yeah, so I'm always looking to not have to be the one responsible to take care of something, right? So yeah, the procrastination bug is hardwired into my brain. to the point, like even like for drumming and stuff, like my practice time consists of when it's me and the guys in the band or in the room together. I'll
Mhm.
I'll listen because like we'll record things on video or audio, and I'll listen to it and I'll kind of run things through in my head to get ideas of what I can do here or there. But the actual physical practice of it, I'm only working that out with the guys in the room. I just never seem to make the time to
Mhm.
practice on my own. It's also space. Like I don't have my house. I don't have my drum kit at home, so it's a it's a whole. I'd have to go to the studio where we practice to set it all up and practice for however many, and then tear it all down because I'm sharing like an office space where we jam. So just the time to do that doesn't really allow for it. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's my story anyway. That's my excuse. Take that.
Gotcha. Well, okay. I prepared a small speech.
His
Not
TED
really.
talk.
This is my TED talk. Interesting,
Go
both
for it.
we're all talking. We have day jobs or other things that we're doing. You guys were both mentioning this. So like drumming, yes. And this is probably, there could be a lot of listeners that are going to be hearing this and they're in a similar boat. I think that like the drumming affords us like, so that kind of puts drumming in a place like, yeah, sure, you might want to do it for a living, but like the fact is you don't right now. So there's everything, you're doing it because you love it. And so like, but
Mhm.
when the rubber hits the road and you have to do something, like go practice, that's like when you're taking something that you love and taking it to the next level where it's like, maybe this isn't like the fun. It's not fun because, fun, I'm doing air quotes for anyone listening, because, I'm not with my pals or I'm not in front of a crowd, or it's like, I just don't feel like it right now. But I think like that's just like as a bit of an aside, I think that's like one of the most important things we can do for ourselves. And like best, like people talk about like self-care or self-love. I feel like that's the most real like self-love we can give ourselves, is like giving ourselves that attention and time into something to make something that we love better when there's no one else around to see whether or not we do it. And it's only for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it will be for other people because they'll hear us and we'll sound better. Our band's going to enjoy playing with a better drummer. People are going to enjoy hearing a better drummer. But like, quick aside, I just think that's like, it's so hard. Which brings me into my bonus reason, which I only thought about when you were saying your thing. I have 3 ways to beat that, 3 ways to beat procrastination, but 4 is to put yourself in a situation where someone demands something of you, like you guys talking about going into work. Like you go in there, I'm sure you don't feel like it every day, but you do, because there's like negative repercussions if you don't. So
I
like,
need money.
yeah, but like also like, you're gonna have to face like, there'll be like, be uncomfortable to have these, when you're slacking up, like whatever, like you do these things. But like, so that might be bonus. That's like the bonus way to beat procrastination, is that whatever it is you're doing, like tell somebody, like have somebody that holds you accountable, or put yourself in a situation. Like for me, sometimes it's like, I want to do a show. Like I have to, like my own personal show or something, like book the show. And then now I'm like on the hook for a show.
You're on the
like
clock.
like now I got to do this. I got to get something ready for it. Otherwise, it's like I can put it off and put it off. Anyway, quickly going through a couple other ideas, because why not? Just like setting ourselves up for success by like, and the classic thing of this is like putting your running shoes by the door, putting your running gear by the door, or even better, if you want to go for a run in the morning, like go to sleep in your running gear, and have the shoes like by the door. So you get up and you just go first thing. Or alternative is like, want to get out of bed, put your phone further away from your bed, so you actually have to like wait
alarm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in general, those just like making things easier for yourself. You want to eat good food, buy good food, and don't put junk food in your house, because if it's there, it's gonna get eaten. That's a law.
That's the
It's like,
first thing that gets eaten.
that's like that's the
Totally.
100%. It's gonna get eaten. And if it's not the first thing, it's eventually gonna get eaten, because you're gonna walk by it. How many times can you walk by that delicious bag of Covered Bridge chips before you go crush it. For me, not too many
Oh,
times.
it's gone
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
you know, when you put your McCain's deep and delicious cake in the freezer, like
Ugh,
you're just
don't
gonna
even
keep
talk
going
about
back
it.
I
to
was
it.
just talking about deep and delicious tonight. What?
Ugh.
We're talking about the same stuff all the time, man.
This is nuts.
We're like the same person.
We're like the same. Yeah.
Deep and
Uh,
Delicious was my 38th birthday cake. I
Oh,
had a 30th birthday. I had a McDonald's birthday party
Nice.
where we bought 38 McDonald's fries and cheeseburgers and had all the like McDonald's accoutrements. And what I really wanted was the deep and delicious cakes. So I had like layered 3 deep and delicious cakes, and that was my birthday cake.
that's a
Wow.
sick cake.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Were they
It
like
was.
different flavors of the deep and delicious, or was it just all like chocolate?
Marble. We're talking
So it was
marble. We're
mixed with the
talking.
marble.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have either of you tried those
Yeah.
new deep and delicious cups?
No.
Oh no.
They're
I
not
won't
the
even
same.
let
Don't
myself.
waste your money.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like it's not the
Good to know.
cake on the bottom, it's like these little cake pellets. So it's like hardened, it's almost like frozen brownie bits.
Hmm.
And then
Oh,
the
no.
frosting isn't the same either. So it's totally not the same experience. So
Sounds terrible.
Okay.
I mean, they're good.
I will.
You know,
Oh,
they're not
bother.
terrible, but they're not deep and delicious cake.
I had a terrible
Not worth
experience
the
today.
calories. Like.
Yeah. Just get the cake.
I bought these, tried to buy mini eggs, but I bought very mini eggs.
Oh.
They're like super small. They're like the size of like not chiclets, but like what are those little green things that you like for your breath? Like they come in the little pack.
Are
Like,
They're all like.
Tic Tacs?
Tic Tacs. They're like Tic Tacs. They're the size of Tic Tacs. But it's like the ratio is all screwed up because you got that coating, and it's
Yeah.
a good. They nailed it
Candy
with the mini egg, like the candy shell and the chocolate in the middle. That's a good ratio. But
Yeah.
with these little Tic Tac shits, you get these little tiny chocolate to a lot of candy coating. It's not the
That's
same
not
thing.
not good.
It's not the same
Yeah.
thing.
Not the same. The recipe wasn't broken.
You're listening, Cadbury. Um,
While
Yeah.
we're procrastinating, talking about more drum stuff.
Yeah. Of course we are.
Since I gave
Um,
a bonus, I just want to say one more. The only other way I have to beat procrastination that I've tried, tested, and is true is being aware that things are hard and you're good. And like, it sounds simple, but like being aware that it's going to suck, but you just do it anyway. So like when
Yeah.
you go to do that thing, just know
Yeah.
that the thing is like it's like, the proverbial like devil on your shoulder. Like, it's like, well, there you are, devil on my shoulder.
Mhm.
Like, I knew you'd show up when I had to do this hard thing.
Mhm.
So like, you're not,
Mhm.
it's not real. You're not real. I'm going to do this thing anyway. So it's just
Yeah.
like acceptance of the suck for a minute. And then it will, you start doing it. Probably not going to be so hard, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
a little
You
bit of,
say that, and
yeah.
it's really. That's what I tell myself. Do the thing, Nadine. Just do the thing. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what it is. It's you don't want to do the thing. The little
Mhm.
devil on your shoulder is telling you not to do it. Just do the thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're always much happier afterwards.
And then the thing won't be there later. So then you don't have to do the thing that you should have done.
Exactly.
Right. Just get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to keep repeating
We do
that.
it to ourselves.
Yeah. To myself.
And then like you
Dre,
can even
just do the.
Just do the thing.
you can even like take it like a deep breath and like even like pump yourself up to get yourself out of your zone. Like you gotta
Yeah.
sometimes you ever just feel like so heavy, like when that you gotta do something. It's like, oh my, I feel so tired. I
Mhm.
gotta nap. I gotta take
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like can like literally change your physicality, like some deep breaths, like let's
Yep.
go. And it's like it sounds ridiculous, but it's like
It works.
sometimes all that
It works.
It's a change in mentality.
Yeah.
You get that. And then when you complete it, you get that dopamine hit. Like whenever you actually finish doing the thing that you've been putting off. Because for me, sometimes it's daunting because it's either it's something I've never done before. I don't think I know how to do it, or I don't know how to do it. And then it's learning how
Yeah.
to do this, like if it's anything to do with like repairs or anything around the house kind of thing. It's like,
Mm.
you know, I'm not the most handy person. I'm not, you know, I didn't learn how to change the oil in my car or anything like that. Like I didn't, you know, so there's a lot of home improvement things that I've never learned how to do. So in order to do them, I've really got to like, okay, first of all, it's going to suck. It's not going to turn out right. You got to YouTube how to do it. And then it's, you know, then it's like, well, why should I even bother doing it? Because it's not going to come out right, you know. So you kind of got to get rid of that negative voice in the back of your head and just be like, you know what? I can fucking do this and I'm going to do it right now. And like you said, then you pump yourself up and you go and you do it. And it turns out that you were right. It does suck, but you get it
And you
done.
and you did put a hole in the wall, and now you got to come get a guy to come fix it.
But I did it.
Well, you
Yeah.
did it.
But you did it. But and that's true with the drumming thing too. Like it sucks to get out of your comfort zone and to practice something that you're not comfortable with and to do the thing. But if you
Oh.
do the thing, then you feel so much better after, and you have this new little kit that you can bring out with your drumming. You know what I mean?
Right.
Totally. It's often the thing that we need to practice the most that we most do not want to practice.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's just, I don't know why we do that as people, but we tend to.
Well, it's because when you're practicing something that you're not used to doing, it's going to sound like shit. Right. So you're going to hear it and you're like, wow, this sounds like shit. I'm just going to go back to doing this thing that I know how to do because it sounds good. You know,
not
instead
wanna
of
do it
like
again.
pushing through and actually working on the thing that, you know, you need to work on. That's why it's called practice. Like, you know, I forget where I heard it, but it's like, you know, practice time is supposed to sound terrible. That's what it's for, you know?
Yeah, you're supposed to allow that for sure.
You gotta
Yeah.
get rid of
Which
that
still sucks.
devil off your shoulder. Yeah. All right. So
Bye-bye.
are we ready for number 3?
Oh,
Drummer number 3?
I don't think so. Nadine,
Okay.
you didn't go first yet, right?
Me first. Okay, I'm going with the tried and true, and it's unoriginal and everything, but it's still true for me. It's Marky Ramone. Like that's where that's what I started doing is drumming. That's what inspired me the most. That's what I listened to as a kid, and it is. I mean, say what you will, they define a new style. So yeah.
And anyone says that he's not a
Yeah.
hardcore drummer, he did play with Black Flag.
That's true.
So, you know,
there you go. Yeah.
I think he was with them for
Nice.
like 2 or 3 years. So, you know, he put some time in there.
The speed, the technique, and the being able to do more, but doing what was needed for that band was awesome, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you want me to go next or you going next? What are we doing?
Oh, whatever. You go next.
I'll go next. I'll do next. All right. So this guy is the guy for so many other drummers. He's influenced my favorite drummer. My favorite drummer says that this guy is the GOAT. So he can't be wrong. He's not an active drummer anymore. He actually stopped playing back in like 1999. And he was only 34 years old when he called it quits. He's a Canadian as well. Probably one of the most influential punk drummers of all time. He played in Black Flag. He played in DOA. He played in Circle Jerks, played in Social Distortion, and he was the OG drummer in Danzig. And that is Mr. Chuck Biscuits. Bam.
Bam.
Yeah, no, he's just so groovy. And if you've ever watched the guy play, I mean, he does this thing with his snare hand. It's just this whip. Like, I don't know. It just is so frenetic when he's playing, especially with back in his Circle Jerk days. Like, people would stop and just watch him play because he was just all over the place. And he sat like up here somewhere. Like, he was like looking down on the drums because he sat so high. And the rack tom was like, you know, massive, you know. So a lot of, even myself included, you know, emulate that drum setup. You know, the big rack tom in the front with, you know, like Dave Grohl and Dave Lombardo does it. Like, yeah, he's just influenced people in so many different ways, but his drumming above all was where it was at with him. So yeah, Chuck Biscuits, number 3 for me.
Wicked.
which is
Nice.
really my top pick because I always save the best for last.
Yeah, that was a really, really hot pick.
Pick.
I,
Follow
Yeah.
that.
I wish I would. Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want to. I thought it was like played with so many bands. It was a great.
Yeah.
Should have been the end. But my third drummer is also great, but not the of legendary status of Chuck Biscuits, but pretty awesome. And I'm gonna also, for good measure, probably say his last name wrong because I don't know him personally. I've never talked to him, but Andrew Kachik, the drummer of the Ghost Inside, a band that I just became aware of in the past few years. They've been going for a long time, but I just love this guy's drumming. And to top it all off, not that this is what defines him because he was already awesome before this happened, but their band had this like terrible bus accident,
Oh no.
their tour bus, and he actually lost his bass drum leg. But he has like a way to play kind of like some kind of setup where he's still able to play, and he still plays better bass drum than I do. So he's pretty just awesome. I think it's just so cool that he figured out a way to keep doing that, and he rules. And I've seen that they're still touring all over the place to massive crowds, and it's just it's super. It's yeah, and they play exactly the kind of hardcore that I love the most, which is that fast and aggressive and good, lyrically good vibes and whatever.
Cool.
So yeah, that's my third pick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Third picks all around, all the drummer picks, and they're all again just so vast in the musicality that they bring. Like they're all punk bands, they're all hardcore bands. They all sound so different, and you're only as good as your drummer. So a lot of it is with the style that the drummer brings to those projects.
Yeah. There was that.
Yeah.
Was it a Buddy Rich video going around recently where he's on Larry King or something, and he says that classic quote, "You're only as good as your drummer." I mean, that's everybody says that, but
Yeah,
it was going around.
mostly drummers say that though.
I
I
know.
find. It's usually the drummers that say that.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the timing and it's the group and it's the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the driver's seat,
Wow.
Yeah.
This is fun. Any
Yeah,
yeah, it flew by. Any thoughts on anything that we said? Anyone?
Is this still on? Are we still here? So yeah, you said you guys are kind of taking a bit of a break from playing shows to work on material to get that second album released. Probably too early to say when that'll be out. You said soon, but probably are we thinking in the next 12 months?
Hoping.
Okay.
But yeah, still early to be speculating, I
Yeah.
guess.
Because you'd have to get in there, finish the songs, then rehearse them enough to record them, and then the whole recording, and then mixing, mastering, and then
Yeah.
sending it to print. I'm guessing you guys are going to do vinyl again.
Yeah, we would like to. Yes.
Yeah.
We had an experience the other times, and yeah, that's probably what we would do again.
So you guys didn't press CDs, did you? You just did it on vinyl and digital, right?
Never did CDs. We just did vinyl. I know a lot of people are doing cassettes nowadays. That's not something that we've looked into so far. I know that PJ is super into cassettes.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll go for it sometime. But
Yeah, cool. So hopefully see you very soon. I know we're going to be playing. We got haven't made the announcement. It'll be out by then. But we got like a pretty busy month of May and June coming up. And then
well, you guys are playing Funk Fest, right?
Yes.
Announce and talk about no.
Well, I don't know when he's making that announcement, but we're playing at the I'm going to try and say this correctly, Punkocalypse, yeah, which is in Fredericton.
Okay.
That's in July, end of June, July, so Canada Day. And then there's a New Brunswick Punk Fest in September, and we're going to be on that bill on, I believe, the Sunday. So I think it's the last night of the festival. I think we're on at like 10 or 11 or whatever. Anyway, so we're going to be there, but we also have some gigs intermixed with that. So hopefully we'll be able to catch a show together there. I know by the time this comes out, Rich will have just come back from the UK. Or no,
Oh,
Spain.
nice.
You're going to Spain.
Yeah, Spain, yeah.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
Norway.
And Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the cool places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It starts.
It's
Summer
Starts soon. Yeah. Because you're leaving only a couple of days from when we're recording this.
That's right.
Yeah. So you're getting your bag packed.
The bags are getting packed, getting getting those songs back way,
Yeah.
into the groove.
not procrastinating.
Definitely not procrastinating on packing my bag.
Just don't forget the
Especially.
cowbell.
Especially. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That would have sucked.
That would suck. Yeah. All right.
Fired. That's how you get fired.
Fired. All right. So this is the LCD podcast. This was episode 10, by the way.
Whoa!
What? Yeah, double digits. So Nadine, where can people find you on Instagram and the socials?
On Instagram, the band, which is which R&R, rock and roll, is where we are on Instagram, and myself, Nadine _AF,
Which stands for
and, yeah,
Nadine as fuck, right?
yes.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah,
So
'cause
Nadine
I'm super
_AF.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll put the link to
Yeah.
to all your socials and stuff there. Myself, it's Dre _SGS. You can follow Los Cabos Drumsticks as well,
Yes.
and Mr. Knox has a Instagram as well. Give them the tag. Give them the
Bunch
tag.
of them. We got Rich Knox Drums on Instagram. If you're interested, we got Fit Drummers on Instagram for all the drummers out there. And if you want other health tips, we got Performers Health on Instagram. So take your pick.
Take your pick. So yeah, like
picking that stuff out.
yeah.
And of course, let me give it to you right here. Danko _Jones on Instagram for anyone who wants to check in with the band.
Check in, buy your tickets if you
That's right.
happen to be
Get your tickets here.
over there.
T-shirts.
So support local music, buy the merchandise, go see the live bands, buy the tickets. All right, people.
Yes.
That was the podcast.
Thank you for being on
All right.
our podcast. Great to meet you.
Thank you for having me. Good to
See you,
meet you
everyone.
too.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.